So, we are talking about Night Owl. Well, Night Owl is with Jennifer Beals. I don't know that I've seen much with Jennifer Beals.
She was in Flashdance.
I've not seen Flashdance, have you?
I actually haven't seen it.
Is that the one where she pulls the chain and...
She pulls the chain and the toilet flushes on her.
Well, that's Jennifer Beals. That's all I know her from. You said that she was in The L Word.
She was in The L Word.
Jennifer Beals, beware the seductive call of the Night Owl. It says here, performers Jennifer Beals and James Wilder are a delight. It's clearly a TV movie. We get this helicopter flyover of the city. You can even see a spotlight coming from the helicopter. The jazz gets a credit of its own. It's playing jazz music, and it's got the Night Owl's voice.
Who's the Night Owl?
She's a radio DJ.
Hello, New York. On this cold and wet autumn equinox, your night owls come to town.
She's like, Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans. There ain't nowhere I ain't been.
But now, I'm yours, New York.
So we first see Julia. Julia is the Jennifer Beals character, and she's walking down an alley, and she turns a corner and there's a man playing saxophone.
Against a wall.
Turns out that's actually her husband. He's like, I forgot to get some food or something.
I forgot to do the food shopping.
I figured.
Yeah.
The dry cleaning?
Oh, I can't win.
Now, I noticed, like, when he sees her, he does the whole...
Yeah, she's interrupting my date with my saxophone.
Nice shoes. Those new?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got them this afternoon, you know.
Can we see them?
Yeah, they look great.
I'll see you later.
No, wait a minute.
He tries to corner her with his saxophone. He plays saxophone at her.
At her. Yeah. Yes, he's a sax pest.
You will submit to my saxophone.
I gotta go.
Oh, come on, don't go.
I gotta go.
Don't go.
I've gotta go.
Don't go.
She does not submit to the saxophone.
Oh yeah, she's got to go to this lecture that she's late for.
By this old lady. And it's about feminine myths and goddesses.
A goddess of creation and, yes, of destruction too. Our culture needs her, that goddess, that feminine principle.
Yeah, so it's this veteran, pioneering, feminist academic. She says at one point...
Frankly, if we continue to ignore the feminine powers of the universe, then one day I do believe they'll turn against us.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
After she finishes her speech, Julia's looking at photos of her on the wall. She says these photos must be misdated.
Somebody must have dated those wrong. Nobody ages that much in a year. No, the dates aren't wrong.
Which is, that's some shade.
I thought it was meant to be implying that she's a witch and she's like lived for a long time.
Maybe she's just literally going, you're a woman who's worked, it has aged you. I don't know what else she's saying with that. But it doesn't even end there. The first thing she says when she meets her is, you've got a lovely voice.
You know, you have a lovely voice.
Yeah, the thing with this character is she has a very comically witchy sounding voice. Like, it reminded me of the Snow White witch.
The dwarf will think she's dead. So, this is the sister you're always talking about, the genius.
Do I detect a note of sarcasm?
And then there's a lot of really strange moments between the two. I kind of made note of this. She says, I really liked your books, especially the one about the Iron Age. And then Jackie goes, well, I don't write that kind of stuff anymore. And then she walks away. I wrote down theme, woman's wrath. The other thing that we learn in that discussion is that Julia is a speech therapist.
Just a speech therapist. I'm pretty mundane, really.
Next up is the Blue Riff Jazz Club, where Harry plays jazz with his band, the Kuffner Quartets. We get one of many extended jazz sequences.
Oh, there's so much. I feel as though the person that wrote it or made it or wanted it to happen just loves jazz.
The person who wanted it to happen. I want this jazz to happen.
It's not really enough to show people experiencing it and enjoying it, if that makes sense. It's sort of like the equivalent of when you see characters having fun and laughing, but it's not comedy. It's just like these people are having a good time, good for them.
You see Julia and her sister sitting at a bar talking about the fact that Harry had an affair, Harry, who is her husband. He cheated on Julia with a fan, which is a little hard to believe, but somebody apparently was like, I love that saxophone. Can I sleep with you? So playing jazz at people obviously worked for someone else.
In 5 years of marriage, Harry has one brief affair with one love-struck fan. I don't think he should be congratulated for his stupidity, but if you don't let this thing go, you might as well call it quits.
It's very strange that her sister would say, you need to get over the fact that he had an affair with someone else.
She's like, I have never seen you back down from a challenge before.
I think you're giving up way too easily.
Her arc is going to have to be to accept him. Julia responds by saying,
So how's your job going?
Which tells me maybe she doesn't have a job. Not uncalled for, but still, bitchiness, woman's wrath. At that point, we also meet Harry and his friend, Alex. We first see him when he's on the phone trying to talk to some woman's answering machine.
I've just been missing you and I've been thinking about you, so I thought maybe, if you, and I know you're there, so can you please pick up the phone?
You know you're out when even the answering machine hangs up on you.
I've just been missing you and I've been thinking about you, so I thought maybe, if you, and I know you're there, so can you please pick up the phone?
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Is every woman in New York out tonight? No, they're just out to me, isn't that?
What?
He mumbles a lot.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too.
Is every woman out in the bird to me?
Is every woman in New York out tonight? No, they're just out to me, isn't that?
Okay, yeah, nope, not a word.
Harry, do you know it's bad luck to toss with an empty glass?
Do you want that one again?
Harry, do you know it's bad luck to toss with an empty glass?
It's a bad luck to toss an empty glass?
It's bad luck to toss an empty glass.
Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. Surely it'd be bad luck to toss out a non-empty glass. To toss out an empty glass is a...
Cardinal sin.
One more time.
Harry, do you know it's bad luck to toss with an empty glass?
Toast with an empty glass.
Toast with an empty glass.
Toast with an empty glass. He slurs.
To toss with an empty glass?
He kind of reminds me of an off-brand Chandler Bing who plays the piano.
He is a little like that, isn't he? He's the guy who can never get the girl, but he's wacky and he's funny and he's got his sunglasses and his whatever that hat is. What's that Rocky Balboa hat?
Right, of course.
Alex tells Harry that he shouldn't have told Julia about his affair.
I wouldn't have told her about that girl. I still wouldn't have. Come on, man. She's walking around on every street corner. All she's saying she sees is a threat.
Everything she sees as a threat. So she does not trust the world anymore after having been cheated on.
She has a sister who's saying, you need to get over it and get back with your man.
You know Harry loves you.
And on the other side, you've got Alex telling Harry, yeah, shouldn't have told her. Because she's just upset.
Thank you.
These people are toxic, 100% toxic.
Hey, one lousy affair.
Harry has one brief affair.
One brief affair, okay? Bad sex, bad conscience, bad memories.
In order to have a good night, Alex takes Harry to a club, which has probably the worst electronic music I think I've ever heard.
Oh my god, it took a long time for me to get that out of my head.
If you want to talk about audio that ruins your life, that music.
And then it key changes. But
it does, it goes up a pitch. While that music is playing, you see Harry ogling girls.
Of course he would. He's a jazz bastard.
Well, they obviously think he's really attractive and he has to resist the urge to just sleep with any woman that he sees. We all have our struggles.
Why are all these women like looking at him and then
he's
like...
so sexy. He's a sexy jazz man.
This couple are so unequally yoked. She's a smart woman with a career, and he's
a man with a saxophone.
He's just a boy with a saxophone. She should be with, like...
A doctor?
A doctor, someone sophisticated who has his own money, you know?
Well, we find out that actually she's been funding his life.
That perfect, ordered, rational world supported you when nobody wanted to hear you play.
Good for Harry, he doesn't sleep with any of the girls.
That's great.
He comes home and finds that Julia's sleeping.
Alone.
So instead of joining her or in any way, he
Does he play the sax?
He goes up to the roof to play saxophone.
Oh my god, dude, put it away.
We talked about this. If you did that in New York City, someone would shoot you.
Oh god, he's gonna play fucking sax on the roof.
Is he gonna get killed?
This is real. Someone would be like, shut the fuck up.
I gotta say, I would not be happy if my neighbor started playing the sax in the middle of the night.
Do you think so? Because I feel like Moonlight Sax is synonymous with New York City. I've never been there, but when I think of New York, I think about alley sax.
I also think of shooting people. Julia then wakes up and she joins him on the roof, and they have this really odd conversation where they talk to each other about how awesome the other person used to be.
You're so smart.
I was just showing off. You're quite a challenge. Brainy, opinionated.
Yeah, and they both agree that they were both sexy previously. It's pure toxicity.
The one thing they can both agree on is so sexy.
So smart and so sexy.
Sexy.
Oh, look at the moon image.
Yeah, this is...
Moon.jpg.
So meanwhile, Alex is heading into an elevator.
Je t'embrasse, mon fou.
And he walks past this woman who he thinks says something to him, but she just turns around and goes,
Oh, mate. I didn't say anything.
Je t'embrasse, baby. Je t'embrasse, night boys. This is your night owl in a continent.
Radio. Great.
Radio. Great.
Radio, great. It's playing on a speaker next to his head.
Okay.
And he still is like, did that woman speak to me? And that's how starved he is for attention from women. He confuses the radio for women speaking to him.
Oh, Mr. Lonely Boy, cruising down an alley. Mr. Tomcat, prowling.
Why is the radio still playing?
Yeah, mister, I'm talking to you. I won't turn a coach over.
He's being stalked by speakers.
So we see Julia at work at her hospital.
Oh, she's like trying to talk to a work friend there and he's ignoring her.
Patrick.
Patrick.
He doesn't even acknowledge that she's there when she tries to speak
He's
to him.
in a trance.
Because he's listening to the Night Owl. Lady at reception just says that it's okay because he's in love.
Well, he's just in love. You know how it is those first few months of marriage.
When you're in love, you just look like you're about to commit mass murder. It's fine. That's what love is.
Clearly.
I know what love is. You just lose all bodily functions and just stare at people.
You okay?
Never better.
Hey, come on, friend. Time to wake up.
Harry wakes up Alex at his apartment.
Oh, no, Harry.
Alex tells him about his obsession with the night owl.
Out of the blue comes this perfect stranger with this perfect voice. It's like a drug, Harry, except it's better. It's better than a drug because she makes everything okay. I hope you find what you're looking for. I really do. We got rehearsal at 7. I mean, maybe we can talk music later.
Harry does a dedicated jazz solo for Julia.
Hit it, boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Scabba-doo-wah.
His extended jazz solo, which she mercifully avoids. She doesn't show up. Wow, I wonder if that was an accident.
I did a dedication to you tonight.
So I guess you don't want to do a repeat then?
No. I guess you had to be there.
Whoa.
Oh.
What happened there? He's two-faced.
Turns out she funded everything.
Yeah, and he's a piece of shit too. So
He
like,
picks a real fight with her. She's like, well, I have a job, so what do you do?
I have a job, I have money.
You blow air through a pipe.
Oh my God.
Don't talk to me about things that need to be done. And he's like, you didn't come and see my pipe blowing. She's like, well, No, fair enough.
This is so offensive to saxophonists.
I used to play saxophone.
All right, fair enough. You're part of the sax community.
So we catch up with Alex, who's going to the radio building where the Night Owl broadcasts from, and there's nobody there. So he goes up to the roof, and he has a vision.
Shut out the world and follow me, Alex.
He sees a woman walking down a hallway. She sort of appears like a glowing hologram.
Like a haunted mansion type thing at Dreamworld.
It's using double exposure effects, which I think were fairly well done, given that they had some interactivity. They were shining some lights on the people. Smash cut from Alex beaming to Patrick having stuck a pencil in his ear.
Oh yeah, Patrick is having a bad time.
It's in my head.
I felt that I would quite like to do the same after all of the jazz in this movie.
Oh my god, fucking nightmare.
Just jazz everywhere.
Jazz chaos.
We don't,
I don't
hate jazz.
I don't hate jazz. But this movie was a lot to take. There was a lot of jazz.
Oh god. I don't hate jazz, but I think this movie's gonna make me hate jazz.
Like, he just won't stop.
So Patrick sticks a pencil in his ear and says, "She's in my head."
She's in my head.
Julia then finds a whole bunch of cassette tapes in his office, which she then takes, because she's now going to investigate who did this. We go back to the Blue Riff Jazz Club. Julia is now actually at the jazz club. But then, of course, in the middle of all that, Alex has a mental breakdown.
Oh yeah, this is his jazz meltdown.
Well, it's his first of 2 jazz meltdowns. He has a first one where he starts hearing the voice of the Night Owl in his head, and he runs off stage. He has a bit of a tense argument with Harry backstage, and there's a little wall shoving. They keep pushing each other on the wall.
Why don't you just butt out of what's not your business? Hey, watch it, Alex.
He ends up saying to Harry, when you settle for average, you get average.
Just, you settle for average, you get average. You go for what's sublime, you get the high notes, Harry.
Meaning, like, Julia ain't worth it, buddy. At this point, I still don't know what Julia's done wrong besides not be totally cool with Harry sleeping around.
What women do these men want? I just want to know.
Someone who's going to sit and worship the sax. Not do one of these JOBs. He gets Alex in line, kind of, and Alex goes back out on stage, but that's when the bath salts really hit. Because at that point, he starts trashing the instruments one by one.
Yeah.
And it culminates in him actually pushing the piano onto a bunch of people sitting at their table.
Yeah, this grand piano, he just shoves it off the stage.
And I know it's on wheels, but he pushes that sucker with a lot of might. So he's got super strength.
When the bath salts drop.
That's it.
What is so funny? What is so funny? What? Jennifer, what are you doing? Are you okay?
You know how many girls he's had? Julia, you know how many girls he's had behind your back? He clubs like this.
Jim, how many guys his had behind your back? But then he says, you can love like this.
He clubs like this.
You can love like this.
He clubs like this.
You can live like this.
You can live like this.
He clubs like this.
He says love. He doesn't say live.
It does sound like he says you could love.
You can love like this. And he runs out and starts climbing a fire escape.
Ooh, this music's interesting.
Oh my god, we have to watch you climb the whole thing.
All the while he's hearing the Night Owl speaking to him, and she says to him, you can fly. He's hearing a woman say, I can take you higher.
Quit joking around. Come down off of there.
I'm going to take you higher.
I found it interesting that they actually couldn't throw a dummy off a ledge. They didn't have the budget for that. He just falls off screen, and then the camera shakes around a lot, and then you see Julia go, oh no! And that's it. And then they sort of like pull a sheet over him and he's done.
He's dead.
Harry now gets depressed over Alex's death. He goes to Alex's apartment, which is trashed in a way that really looks like the production design department.
But the thing we should not forget is that they had just been signed as a band to a record label.
We made the deal today.
And he fucked it all up.
Julia's sister now says that she's heard of the Night Owl.
She claims to broadcast on WPKV. They deny it, so everybody just thinks it's some kind of promotional gimmick for the station.
Yeah, they're like, we don't know how this is happening. We've been to the FCC.
We've been to the FCC. They can't figure it out either. She's probably got some pirate radio transmitter hooked up offshore somewhere. Everybody's got a theory.
And then she shows an owl that they got from one of her fans.
It's a gift from one of her fans, some dentist in Queens.
And she's like, great, thanks.
Well, thank you.
We catch up with Harry. Harry is sauntering through the park. He's depressed, and he comes across this Jamaican music gang.
Oh my god, yes, I remember this. I don't know if it's like a West Indies Caribbean thing. I don't know what it is.
There's this one lady in the middle who's just dancing frenetically.
Oh my god, go away.
Yeah, imagine if someone just started doing that in front of you.
Get out of my face.
Dance with me, Harry. Dance with me.
Harry gets scared and runs off. And he runs into an underground tunnel.
It's always good when you go into a giant
Yeah, this is fun.
tunnel. Where on earth is this?
Harry. Harry. You can shut your eyes, but not your ears.
Who are you? You're killed out! Who are you?
He gets to the end of the tunnel and he suddenly has a vision of the Night Owl. She shows up as this naked lady hologram.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm yours, Harry. You have me forever and ever.
Harry is now headed down the same dark path that Alex was. Julia, on the other hand, puts the Night Owl audio into her computer, and the computer has an acid trip. Harry becomes a recluse, and he just goes into his room and plays jazz.
He turns around and his throat's been slit. He's like cut his own throat.
Oh my god, so he was playing the music
Through the thing. It wasn't him playing. You'll be dead.
Oh, maybe he's like stuck the mouthpiece through his eye socket.
Yeah. No, he's just the loser.
He didn't even kill himself.
He's just lame.
I let Alex die.
No, you didn't.
A man commits suicide and Harry blames himself. Whereas Harry cheats on Julia and it's sort of like it's Julia's fault.
Of course.
Julia.
What?
Magic. Special effects.
So it is like a ghost.
Harry? Harry.
For some reason, the Night Owl suddenly attacks Julia when she's sleeping.
Oh yeah, she rips the blanket off her bed.
She tries to strangle her with the blanket in reverse film. And that's when Julia meets up with the old lady Jackie. They go to a cafe, and Jackie tells her that her own husband also listened to the Night Owl.
He heard the voice one day on a hilltop. He said it started calling to him, seducing him, promising him freedom.
And that her husband drowned. He has this theory that the Night Owl is a witch spirit who travels the world, arriving with the full moon of the autumn equinox.
She feeds on the desires of men, the longings of men. I have a theory. She is the collective rage of all the unhappy women who've ever existed.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense as a theory, so Julia leaves, which is fair enough.
Well, good luck to you.
Julia.
So she comes home and starts hearing sex noises in her apartment. But Harry's the only one in there.
Harry, wake up.
God, you woke me. Why'd you do that?
There was someone in here.
So she gets upset with him, and he walks out. She tries to follow him down an alley, and then, of course, she gets interrupted by a very convenient Jamaican music gang again. That crazy lady shows up and dances at Julia. And then for some reason, this man in drag shows up.
Looking for someone, honey? Maybe he doesn't want to be found.
And it's almost like that's some person that they just plucked out of an actual parade. Like it doesn't have any relevance to anything.
Parade. They were shooting guerrilla style.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, check this person out that I found. Julia goes to Jackie's house, and Jackie tells her that the night owl got to Harry because Julia and Harry aren't together.
She cannot get in between two people unless there's a space for her to do it.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
So it's basically Julia's fault for being pissed off at her husband for cheating on her. That she has brought this wrath upon him.
She literally says that in order to fight the night owl, Julia needs to get fully back together with Harry.
Close some spaces between you. Well, then she'd have nowhere to go.
She has this really weird line at the end where she says,
You'd have to do it.
Do what?
Right? But then she says, both of you would have to want to do it.
Both of you would have to want to do it.
She sort of looks off to the side like, oh, I like the sound of that. She looks aroused.
Ah!
It's such an odd character. I don't get it. So Julia goes home to have sex with Harry. But he can't perform because he's still seeing visions of like ABBA holograms. Here comes sort of the film's solidification of its thesis. When Harry runs away from the sex with Julia, he goes up on the roof, and when he's up there, he runs into a fake Julia.
Life can be so simple if you just let it be, Harry.
She basically personifies everything that he wants Julia to be.
Which is?
Submissive.
Watched by aluminium. Everything on Earth is on this roof. There's pigeons, there's eyes.
The night owl appears, kind of looking like the ghost of Christmas Future. She's like a double exposure with like a ratty coat.
Stand up, Harry. I need you.
Oh my god, she's pushing wind in her face.
Julia reaches out and grabs Harry.
I'm not invested in this working out at all.
Oh no, not the love. Not the forgiveness.
The love is back.
Ew.
The marriage is saved. The affair is forgiven. And the night owl is gone.
Do you know the problem I have with that? They're still them. He's still a mooching jazz boy. They can keep being unhappy.
That was absolutely awful.
Moon.jpg.